And good morning. Just like that, it became Thursday. How are you feeling? Well, I warn you this before you get up and you crack your door. Be warned, it is 27 degrees outside now as you're waking up. Now, it will double. We're going to get to about 59, right at that 60-degree mark, but that doesn't change the fact that it is bitter cold outside. Me and my dog didn't stay out there long this morning at 4 a.m. It was a quick trip. She even wanted to come back in next to the fireplace. So keep that in mind as you are beginning your day as to what you've got to do. Warm jacket. Warm. How are you? I hope good. Beautiful day. We'll take a look at radar here in just a moment to get your day started as to what you need to wear, where you're going to be going, and all of that. We did have a wreck yesterday, Highway 11 and 80. If you heard about that, I got started getting texts that the road was blocked, and sure enough, it was near Telephone Road is where the accident happened. And as we pull this up to give you a visual of what happened, Mississippi Highway Patrol came. It involved a log truck and a car. No serious injuries by any means, but it did cause a big delay, and it happened right out here about where Telephone Road is, right there in that curve, in the S-curve there. So if you were in the neighborhood and come up on that and couldn't figure out why the road was blocked, that's what was going on yesterday. So fortunately, no one seriously hurt. That is good news. Don't forget to join us this morning at 8. We'll have a lot more stories than this to carry you through the day to let you know what's kind of going on. We'll talk about the former Miss Mississippi. Remember her, that her husband was murdered? We'll talk about that this morning, of what's being said. Tragedy. They had moved out of the state of Mississippi. We'll find out more about that. Several fender benders across town yesterday. And I wanted to bring this up this morning. We have a what you would call a Amber Alert type situation as we look at this. Let me close this and pull this up. Harrison County is where this is as we pull up this picture of this. MBI, Endangered Missing Child Alert, issued for Shane Shelby Jr., and that has been canceled. So we'll just back that up. That I didn't catch that as we were getting ready just a moment ago. He has been found. That's good news. Boop. So there you go. That's my boo-boo of the morning there as we look at what happens. I really thought that was still good, but that has been found. That has a great ending. That's good news. So what else is going on across the state of Mississippi as we look at things? One of the most talked about things in the state of Mississippi has been the marijuana bill. Do you agree with it? Most people that I have talked to when it comes to the medical side of this don't have a problem with Mississippians who need medical help having this. The bill now heads off to Governor Tate Reeves. It has passed the Senate and is headed for his signature. It's widely thought that he'll sign it, although Tate has not given a yes or a no or any indication as to what he's going to do. But most think that it will be signed. We'll find out before long as we start doing that. Also, a Mississippi man has been found dead that was reported missing. This is in Myrtle, Mississippi. That's kind of northwest of Tupelo, Mississippi. Tupelo sits here. It'd be to the northwest of there. They don't expect foul play. He was, I think, 44 years old. And he was found in the woods, and they think it was hypothermia during the cold weather that he passed away. That's bad. Very, very bad. We did have some very cold weather. David McGill Jr. was his name, 44 years old there, found in some woods. We hate to even have to report stuff like that, but golly. Linda Todd, Accord says 23 degrees this morning in Hickory. Ooh, that is cold. Robin Miller says 29 at her house. That is a burr moment, Robin. Thank you for telling us that. Brian Troy joins us there. I hadn't seen any other temperatures popping up of folks that are getting up. Let us know how cold it is where you are. Tate says that he's all for giving the teachers of Mississippi a pay raise and cutting taxes. And what he means by cutting taxes is doing away with the state income tax. We'll see where that goes. It's starting to look like that may happen. Teachers do need a raise. It's very hard to make it off what they live on. And they do a wonderful job. I don't think each of us wouldn't argue with that. But hopefully they'll get that pay raise that they deserve there. Not like a normal job there. Also, well, we'll just save that till later. We'll do that one at 8 o'clock this morning here. A story there that's coming up. You hear me talk a lot about these stories of people that are let out early out of prison. good behavior or whatnot on release programs. Well, it happened again in the state of Mississippi. A convicted robber that was released early went ahead and done it again on Christmas Eve. He was just arrested for robbing someone on Christmas Eve, and, well, he done it again. They tied him to both of those, so he'll go back to the jailhouse, and that was in Adams County. These early release programs, I guess, in some ways are good for people that have been on best behavior, but I sometimes wonder if they're not abused. You know what I'm talking about? And put criminals back on the street. We don't want that. Also, we found out that a Morton Man was killed in a wreck near Pelahatchie this week. Sad news for his family. It was a single vehicle crash that happened on Tuesday night. 37-year-old Jeffrey Rogers was pronounced dead. Sad, sad, sad there. And have you seen this? And I'll show you the picture before we get to the weather this morning. Sarah Palin, of course, you know, anything she does is going to be in the news, so you would think that she would really think about this. The trial was delayed this week because she got COVID. So they couldn't have the trial, and they postponed it, and the judge was very upset about it. Last night, they got pictures of her, and here you go. She's dining out at a restaurant there. No mask, no nothing, bunch of folks there. She won't be treated well throughout the news today across America. Just a heads up on that. That's not going to happen. Other news that is happening this morning, Illinois is where we go to this story here. State trooper. And I've seen this probably, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 times since the beginning of the year of suicide. State trooper suicide, him and his wife. Leaves behind a child to be orphaned. That was in Illinois. I can't tell you if it's the pressure of the job or what's causing this, but you know, we saw last week where it was a murder-suicide, and there were 2 deputies. They left behind a child. I don't know what's causing it, but it is a string of this. Whether it deals with the Omicron or anything to do with COVID, there's a lot of people that have been worried about all of that. I don't know what was going on. That could have been something domestic that we don't know about. They're still investigating that. The governor of New York may get involved. You know, Eric Adams, the new mayor of New York City, has a DA that is beyond light on crime, letting criminals go, like we mentioned a moment ago. The governor may step in and reverse his decision of what he's doing. We would hope so. New York has just gotten to where you just really, really can't go there. Elon Musk, does that name ring a bell with you? You know, he's the guy that's building all of these electric cars, the Tesla. And I thought I owned the ugliest truck that existed, but I may have been showed up now. Have you seen this thing that they've made that's an electric truck? I can't even tell you what it costs. It's thousands upon thousands. I know the cars are like 90. There's no telling with this truck because it's not in production yet. But here's what it looks like. And is that attractive to you? I'm sure it's got some gadgets on it that's pretty cool. But they have delayed production now beginning until 23. So if you'd set aside your entire savings of your life and thought, hey, I'd like to have one of them, you've got to wait another year. While everybody else would just go ahead and get the Ford Bronco with, well, a gas engine in it. Look a lot better, too. We don't know what all is going on as we watch what happens overseas. Biden, as he tries to stand tall against Putin, and I don't think most Americans think he's up to the job. Can't play poker with someone who doesn't know what they're doing. He's threatening now to shut down the pipeline that Russia has going into Germany, which send prices soaring, and it would leave many Germans without any way to heat their homes as well. We'll see how this turns out. Things are getting very, very, if you have not been paying close attention to the news lately, brink of war is right there. We're really, really close on this, and we have a president that, well, a lot of people are kind of nervous over. Now, we all know at the end of the day that he's not calling the shots, but who actually is? Makes you wonder there. That's where we are on that. So, a good morning to you. I hope you're doing well there. Have you ever visited our friends at Meridian Mattress? Let me bring that up this morning. One of our sponsors that makes sure that the news and headlines all make you every day. Mattresses, Bimco, made right here in Meridian, Mississippi, handmade, and they go out all over the world. Just off of 22nd Avenue over by the tunnel. So if you need a mattress, drop in and visit with them. Bimco, handmade right here in the Meridian area. Really, really sweet people. Drop in to see Miss Joanne. She'll show you around and give you a tour and pick out the mattress you want. Comfort, made right here. And the great thing about that is if you have a problem, you go right back to where it's made, here in Meridian, Mississippi. How many things can we say are still made right here at home, even in the city of Meridian? That's done right here. Check them out. Again, that's Meridian Mattress. See them. They'll tell you more about it. All right, let's turn some thoughts to the weather this morning and let's kind of find out what's in store for us today.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
All right, let's come over to radar now and take a quick look at what we've got going on temperature-wise this morning. As I said, at Key Field this morning, we're looking at 27 degrees. As we go up to the air base, NAS Meridian, 25 right now. As we get further to Columbus Air Force Base, it is 24 degrees right now. And Tupelo clocking in at 23. So it is a very, very cold morning. Jackson, Mississippi sitting at 27 right now. As we go south to Hattiesburg, it is 30. That's chilly, as I've seen some of your temperatures there. Bree says she's got 30 right now. And where is that? Decatur is where you're sitting at this morning with the temperature of 30. As we glance at this, Louisville, Karina Jones says it's 23 there in Louisville this morning. That is by all measures very, very cold morning, isn't it there? Robin Miller, 29. Pat and Jim Coker, how are y'all doing there? A chilly morning by any way. Now, as you look at this, my radar, and I made sure before I turned this off, because I have been known to, well, this is my favorite coffee mug that my neighbor gave me for my birthday a few years ago. I like to pretend I'm that. And sometimes I'll slam it down in here and get a spot on the screen and think, wow, that's something. It's just my coffee splattered. But I've looked at this 2 or 3 times, and out to the west, and this is the real deal. It won't last long, but do y'all see this right here? That pink stuff, that's a little bit of a wintry mix making its way right there toward the Mississippi Delta at the present time. As you look at this, here's Greenwood. Let's zoom in on this. Take a look at this. This is going to be Greenville. That's Greenwood. This is Cleveland. Y'all look at that. Clarksdale, Mississippi, getting a spit and a spat. Uh-oh, what is that? That, my friend, is snow. And this is going to be right across here in Arkansas. It's not much, and it'll probably go away here in just a little while, but that's a smidge of it. And as we go northwest of Memphis, Tennessee, Jonesboro, look at all of the snow that's up here. Evansville, Indiana, Henderson, Kentucky, got a little bit of snow this morning in those areas. Now, again, this here coming at the state of Mississippi isn't going to last long, but it is a wintry mix over there in the northwest corner there as it makes its way toward the Mississippi Delta. Again, it will go away. It's cold right now, so if you're in those areas, be careful there. Laura Lee asked a very excellent question. Where is Naked Man? We haven't heard from Naked Man roaming the streets of Meridian now in what? I guess it's been about 3 weeks since I reported. I don't know. Maybe he's found a towel here lately to keep warm on these cold nights. I have yet to report him running naked down the streets of Meridian any time that it was below 50 degrees. He's smarter than you think. But as soon as he comes back into the wide open, we'll pass that along to you there. Let's just glance across America and see just what's going on today. As we go down here on the coast here, what do we have here? In Biloxi, they have a gale watch that they've got there. As we come across into Florida, all things look good. A little bit of showers there in Jacksonville. As we come down to West Palm, a shower or two, and we go up through here, right up here into Virginia and the Carolinas. It's going to be cold there. Winter storm watch along the Carolinas all the way to Richmond, Virginia. We got a little bit of fog showing up in Tennessee there, south of Knoxville. And as we mentioned, all of this snow going from Jonesboro, Arkansas, up to Springfield, Missouri. As we get closer up here, this is where it really gets cold. I've been here, Akron, Youngstown, Canton, Ohio. Very cold place. This morning is 10 degrees right there. Let's just see what's in Cleveland. 10 degrees also up there in Cleveland, Ohio, as you come across Syracuse. Cold. We come across these northern parts of the United States where it's always just blistering cold. As we check into Minnesota, 18 degrees. It's a warming trend up there. 12 degrees there. As we come across 3 degrees in Langdon, North Dakota, if you're sitting there this morning. We'll go over here, 14. And as we still look at this, we got a lot of fog out here in Washington and Idaho in those areas. As we come back, California looks pretty good. And out in West Texas, El Paso, these areas, we got a lot of fog. So if you're going to be in those areas traveling this morning or watching, be careful. It's a lot going on there. LaWanda said it's just too cold to run naked in this weather. I got to agree with you. And we'll tell you the things that criminals do. One of the stories we've got this morning, I think it's Kentucky. We'll go deeper into this. They've arrested a guy, and I don't get it. He has been breaking, I think it's like 30 houses that he's broken into. And you know what he's taken? Women's underwear. That's all he's taken. He breaks in the house and goes to the ladies' undergarment drawer and makes off with it. I tell you, things that people do. He's going to have some time to think about that in the jailhouse now because he has been arrested. But we'll talk about that more this morning from Kentucky. You'd think it's almost an Arkansas thing, but it wasn't. It was Kentucky. All right, let's flip into what the National Weather Service has to tell us this morning. What's shaking up, what's going on. Now, there's several stories that I'm working on in the Meridian area also that I have not been able to verify, so I'm going to hold off on mentioning several of these because I just hadn't been able to put my hand on it yet. We did have some shots reported last night. And again, let me say this before I show this on the map. Reported doesn't mean anything was hit. We'll check on that. But 34th Avenue, around 24th Street, we had shots reported in the Meridian area last night. And this is where this is going to be. If you look at the big picture, this is 34th Avenue. As you look here, the Wash House, a bigger scale, here's Highway 493. It's west of Highway 493. Here's Hope Village. It's due west of there, back in there is where the shots were reported. Just so that you'll know what's going on in and around our city. Again, I've got several things that I cannot confirm yet that I'm working on. I've also gotten word that possibility in the county, we're starting to see that catalytic converters might be taken again. So if you hear your dogs barking, especially if you live in the county, get up and see what it is. Your dogs know things before anybody else. That's your outside alarm, your perimeter. If you've got outside dogs and they go to barking, or you're one that I used to have that could hear anything, a flea move 4 miles away in the middle of the night at 2 a.m. would start growling. Oh, JJ, he was my alarm. We all have those. Get up, turn your light on to see what's going on. There's people out there that want to take what's yours. They're too lazy to work. We don't want them to have it, do we? No. Lauderdale County Sheriff's Department will come a-running if you live in the county to straighten all that out. They're good folks. They work hard. They patrol all night long. Keep up with them. Good folks there. All right, let's talk about weather. As I said, we're starting out this morning. It is cold right now. I know you're freezing because I'm 27 and I got my little heater going, and I hadn't turned on the main heater yet, but I sure am chilly. All right, let's get into what the National Weather Service tells us of what to expect today. Let's go back and look at our record highs, our record lows. It was 1957 that we had a warm day. It was 78 degrees back in 57. Boy, what a year we would have. That 57 Bel Air would roll off the assembly line and change America forever. Had we only known then just how valuable that car would be later, don't you think? Maybe you've got one. Beautiful cars. Love them. In 1940, we set a record of being, well, even colder than today. It was 2 degrees if you were around in 1940 here in the Meridian area. That's cold, that's cold, it's cold. Let's look at what's going to happen across. Let's go back up here. I put Alabama in here twice. Whoops. What we've got across the Bama state line is 60 degrees today in Demopolis, and that's going to happen about 59 there in Livingston, Alabama, as we go up there on Highway 17 all the way to Hamilton through Geiger, Alabama, and Epps, Alabama. It's going to be right around 58 degrees. As we look at Meridian, 59, and we're looking at about 58 there in the Louisville area toward Mississippi State, and I apologize for making that mistake earlier and loading that twice. Just shame on me. I'll get it straightened out tomorrow and get it all fixed up for us there. What's going to happen temperature-wise? Now, let me say this weekend ought to be pretty good, but let's jump ahead to the week of February 5th. Possibility some storms brewing. We'll watch that. Nothing is in concrete yet, but mark that down on your calendars as we get ready for that. We might have something coming up around the 5th that weekend. Not this weekend, but next weekend. Too early to say for sure in concrete, but we're going to watch that. Maybe a system is brewing. As we look at these temperatures this morning across the United States, below average out in Nevada. If you were planning to go to Las Vegas there, it's a little bit chilly out there. Carry 2 coats. As we come across on eastern Texas, starting to get normal there, and across Louisiana, we're a tad bit, you wouldn't tell it by this morning, but for the next few days, it'll be a little warmer than average. That eastern coastline, warmer, a lot warmer there. But we'll watch this. Colder weather is coming, and that's possibly going to be next weekend. We'll see all of that. All right, let's do the breakdown for you this morning of what's going on today and for the next 7 days. As we look at this, the National Weather Service today tells us sunshine 59. You couldn't ask for anything any better. It'll be great outside. We don't have a big wind blowing today. It's not going to be gusting, so it'll be tolerable. Didn't say it would be wonderful, because 60 is about that part where you need a jacket, but it's not like yesterday to where you were completely miserable if you walked outside. You know what I mean? I made several trips. You'd get about 15 feet out of the door, that wind would hit you. Oof. As we go in tonight, I expect it to be about 35. As we roll into Friday to end the week, thank heavens it's Friday. As George Jones used to sing, it's finally Friday. 49 for a high tomorrow. 10 degrees cooler tomorrow night. Be prepared, get your pipes ready, and make sure that your pets are taken care of. Meridian will see 23 degrees tomorrow night. So what does that tell you? Points north of here are going to be even colder as you get up to northern Kemper County toward Louisville, Mississippi State, and into the Delta. It's going to be extremely cold. So watch this. Be prepared. Pets can't handle it. Make sure that your cattle got plenty to eat, and take care of those kitty cats and dogs outside. As we roll into Saturday, a little bit cooler there, 46 for a high, 27 Saturday night. Now, as we go to church on Sunday, that morning it's going to be cold, but look at that temperature. It warms up a little bit there, 61 by late afternoon, 35 Sunday night. And this is going to wind it up right here for all of our deer hunters. Yeah, 65, 64, 65, however you want to call it, as we end January right there. 43 for a low. So I can't promise you that it's going to be a great day to hunt, but if you're taking off that last day to get out there, good luck. We've got a little bit of rain moving in by Tuesday, and that's why you start seeing these temperatures bump up a little bit there. Let's go ahead and jump into another week as we go on into February here and see what's happening here. Thursday, the 3rd, about 58 degrees there. We've got minimum of about 50s is what we're looking at. And somewhere along in here, we'll watch this to see if all of this changes here as storms make their way toward Mississippi. We'll watch that closely. Nothing's showing up yet, but as they say, things are starting to brew out there somewhere. Let's talk about deer hunting today. Yeah, see what's happening here. It's an average day. It's what we've got on our calendar of events. It's what we've got as we pull this up. So you'll know our first major time will be 9 a.m. this morning through about lunchtime. So if you've got a moment or two to head to the bushes this morning, 9 o'clock, get in there about 8, get everything settled. Should have a good hunt till about lunchtime. Now, the wind is going to be northeast, kind of calm this morning. As the day moves on, it will get up to about 5 miles an hour. Not bad at all as we look at what's going to be happening with our deer feeding times for today. And again, it will end the 31st on Monday. That's not long left at all there. So good luck to everybody. Make sure to drop your deer off by Jay's Taxidermy. He'll get you fixed up there. Cornbread, how in the world are you doing? Nick Dowell is up. Glad to see you. Good friend of mine there. Good morning to Laura Lee. Glad to see you there. Also, Joyce Godwin's up 15 degrees in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, as she says. Now, if that don't make you want to go buy you an electric blanket, I don't know what will. Terry Ray, my landlord, is in Vermont expecting a negative low last night. Eek. Terry, I have to agree with you. Negative. You don't really hear much. Have y'all ever heard me talk about criminal activity in Vermont? You just don't get stories. You know why? It's too cold. You don't hear about crime in Montana. They ain't up there doing things because it's too cold to go outside and do bad things. So maybe this cold weather has its benefits there. I'm sure that they've got something, but it ain't like what we got going on. Let's see here as we say good morning to Miss LaWanda. How are you doing? I'm glad to see you up with us as well there. Now, we're going to be back in just about an hour from now as we get the morning show cranked up. I hope you'll join me. A lot going on today. We'll go through it all. Candace is getting her makeup on. She's ready. She'll be in, and we'll talk about all the ins and out of our area. Again, before you go crank up that car, it's 27 degrees outside as we wait for a high of 59. As Walter Cronkite says, that's the way it was. How did he say that? And that's the way it was. I'll have to look that back up. Walter Cronkite. He was a good one, wasn't he? All right. We'll see you soon as we begin this Thursday together. And thank y'all for coming by. And thank you for supporting the folks that support this program each day and make it possible. Can't do it without you. And we'll see you back in just roughly an hour from now as we begin it all here at Scotty Ray's Weather and Headlines. Thank you so much.
Scotty Ray's Weather is brought to you by